Peace, family. How you doing? I hope all is well with you. My name is Oyemi. If you are not familiar with me, I am a 3-time self-published author. I am a musician, with music streaming everywhere. I'm a content creator. I'm a designer of Oyemi Collections. I'm also the CEO and founder of Oyemi Collections. I just want to tell you, welcome to the channel. Alright, so today I felt like it was really necessary for us to pretty much talk about, especially being today a beautiful day. And it's a really good time for us to be in this energy. One of the things that I would like to talk about today that kind of taboo for real, traumas and triggers and how to get through them. How can one move forward in life when they have suffered such atrocities in their life, when they've had a difficult childhood or a difficult anything, experienced severe things in their lives, and they're unable to get through them. I myself have been diagnosed with CTPSD, which is chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. I have dealt with trauma since I was in utero. So basically I could feel my mother's pain, and as I was birthed, I could feel the pain. I could also feel the pain growing up through childhood and into my livelihood. As far as my love life, I was then incorporating and attracting people who reminded me of my traumas and triggered me, and I was dating my traumas without even realizing it until I had a breakdown one day. So this is what I would like to encourage everybody who is, or anyone, because there's no one size fits all. What might work for me may not work for you, but I feel as though that there's a way, there's an ebb and flow to do things. Don't get stuck on just one way. Be open and receptive to many different eras. This is one way for me to release. When I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm upset, I don't hold that energy in a space that I have stated is my harmonious place, which is my home, whether it be my car, anything. The windows will be up, or the windows will be down for my car, or I'll just go outside. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about is that the biggest mistake that I made when it comes to trauma is I did not allow myself to feel my emotions. So what I used to do was project a lot of my insecurities, a lot of the things I had went through as a child onto others, and that was my perception. My perception of these people, they're going to already hurt me, so I'm going to do one up on you. I'm going to hurt you before you hurt me. I'm going to cheat before you cheat. I'm going to do this before you do that. I'm going to throw these hands before you can get to me, because I feel like you're looking at me some type of way. Trauma comes in different forms. It can be through a job. It can be through circumstances in your childhood. It can be circumstances in your adulthood. It can be in any situation. So it applies to all things, honestly. There's no trauma trigger for this and this and this and that. It doesn't really have a category other than all on its own. It's how you decide to incorporate certain techniques to help yourself heal. So that was one of my biggest things, that my biggest mistake was not allowing myself to feel my emotions, because it felt so uncomfortable to be in those emotions. It felt completely and utterly uncomfortable to revisit certain things. But what happened is that unbeknownst to me, I would be in situations that would be a trigger. And triggers are your friends, because triggers allow you to let you know some areas that you need to continue to work on, to heal, to move through. So in life, I was always triggered. I did $300,000 worth of damage at my job. And I used to work I was a correctional nurse. And that was my very first job, and I did $300,000 worth of damage. They sent me to counseling. They sent me through a therapist. She was actually a psychiatrist, and she diagnosed me with some anger issues and some other things. And it wasn't until years later, and just more years of therapy and whatever, that I was fully diagnosed, and I was able to understand why I did the things I did, and why the people who hurt me did the things that they did. And that takes a whole nother different level. That takes it to a whole nother level when you're able to overstand, but not necessarily forgive that person or pardon, not necessarily pardon that person for what they done, but understand some of the rationale behind what they did and why they did it to you or towards you. That takes a lot. And it didn't take me overnight to get there. So if you are one of those people who like, I need a quick fix, there is no quick fix. The quickest way to fix it is to address it. Basically, one-on-one. And so for some people it's scary, and they never deal with their traumas. They never deal with their triggers. They just they pretty much mask them with alcohol, weed, or different things. And I'm not saying that I'm one person who has not done those things. I have done those things, grinding myself. But I have done those things myself, so I truly understand and understand why some people will feel the need. I don't want to feel that, so I'm going to go ahead and numb it, because it's easier to numb it than to feel, and that is true. But what happens when you don't feel is that your body continues to store it, and your body continues to pile things on until you get body breakdown. It can come in different forms: autoimmune disorder, it can come in high blood pressure, it can manifest in many different ways in different people. There is no right or wrong way for it to manifest within your body. I myself was diagnosed with SPS, which is stiff person syndrome, same thing that Celine Dion has, and for me, honestly, because I kept so much emotion within me and allowed my anger to rage to the point to where it got dangerous, it manifested in my body when I fell on my neck. That was another tragedy as far as in an abusive relationship, dealing with a trauma and a trigger at the same time, and then it manifested into something else. So the gateway was pretty much open because I had invited it. One of the things I wanted to do is to find freedom and liberation from my experiences. I no longer wanted to be in situations or avoid a cookout because of who might be there, who gonna be there, what they look like, what your family look like, because any particular person that reminded me of my perpetrator or my perpetrators would send me into a frenzy. Anything, a smell, a reaction, a shadow, anything. It could even be someone touching me like on the back of my shoulder, or just thinking they're doing a trick and stick me on the side, poke me on the side, would trigger me. And I mean, to the point it was emotional response of just complete crying and tears, and I just had to get away. I would run away sometimes from the people who didn't really understand why I was doing the things that I was doing. And if you're worried that it'll send you in a spiral, don't. It's a step-by-step process. It truly, truly is. It's a step-by-step process. Florence Scovel Shinn has this quote in her book called In the Game of Life and How to Play It. And when they talk about fear, and she states, when you have fear, you face it. So, and the fear is technically the lion. If you run from a lion, what is it going to do? It's going to chase after you. But if you walk up to a lion, it's going to run from you. So therefore, what you want to do is face your fear. If it's fearful to you, face it. Because sometimes the only way to get through something is to truly face it. So for me, an example of myself was that when I became to the point to where I was ready to release and let go, and I wanted to speak to my perpetrator, one of the perpetrators that violated me as a child, I asked and I prayed for peace. And I said, please, out of this situation, allow me to laugh. Because you see, one thing is that within your tears is a spell because everything you've been through. But then also within my laughter. See, what a person's going to hear is the laughter, but they don't know the pain behind the laughter. And when I tell you, every time that person brought up, it was my mom's ex-husband, I will say that. By the time everything was said and done, and I laughed, and they kept saying, see you laughing, da-da-da-da. I said, yeah, I'm laughing. Ha, 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 he. But in me, I knew within that laughter I could remember a good moment in entirety, you know what I'm saying, as a child, which I'm grateful for because I asked it. I wanted a good memory. So therefore, if I ever go back, I ain't going back to the negative, I'm going back to that laughter. But see, that laughter actually was a spell, because I also prayed to allow me to release and let go of this and give it back to the person who caused me harm. I grew up in the suburbs. So where you grow don't necessarily mean anything either. So a lot of times what I did was I revised my story. So if I ever, or when I do look back, I think about all the good memories I did, like how me and my brothers would slide off of the bedroom door because it came off the hinges and they had a bunk bed. So what we used was we used their door as a slide. We made an in-home slide. We also took Dawn dish detergent and put it on a towel because we didn't go skating. So the kitchen was tile, and what did we do? We skated in the damn kitchen. These are memories that I could go back to that I had long forgot. So when I do my revision, or when I do my revised story, when I go back sometimes, or if I'm triggered or any type of way, I look into what made me happy. I really do. And that's something that Never God teaches as well, as about revision. But revision can be whatever you decide you wanted it to be. You just tell yourself a brand new story. And it can be something that brings you peace. For me, it had to be peace. It had to be harmonious, and it had to be gracious. Because if I wanted to heal, which I wanted to heal, I had to retell my story, and I had to revise it over and over and over and over again until I got to a point to where, like I just told you guys, I gave y'all those two things that I can remember about my childhood, and I don't have to remember all the other negative things, And if you're curious, there are my books, and it's in the link if you're interested in copying your own copy to kind of understand what I'm talking about. For me, I also felt like that I could not heal what I dwelled in. So therefore, I could not heal within the state that hurt me. So I moved out of state and I healed. So when people ask me my birthplace is never where I originally was birthed. My birthplace is where I was reborn, which is California. Because California saved me from a lot of different things. And California is a place that can even make or break you. And it truly made me. It allowed me to grow, flourish, prosper, see things from a different perspective. I went through some things, don't get it twisted now, but I healed immensely. So, for some people, you feel like you want to get out. Sometimes the best thing to do is to move out of state. If you're in a situation, you're in a home, move out the home. Just separate yourself from that particular situation because you need time to heal. A lot of times you want to revisit and revise your story, like I did. When I prayed, I asked for laughter. That's all I asked for laughter. What I was given was memories I had forgotten, and those were instilled in me. And through that, I was able to laugh out my pain. Because see, not every bad situation is completely bad. There's some joy in it. There's some laughter in it. Whether it was me and my siblings eating mayonnaise sandwiches and crying over who gonna eat the crust, or is it gonna get toasted in the butter first? You know what I'm saying? We was eating mayonnaise sandwiches. We was hungry. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to kind of get fancy, we was putting ketchup and mustard in it as well. You know what I'm saying? And it had to be toasted. You feel me? On the stove, coated with butter. We may not have nothing else, but we had bread and butter. If we ain't have electricity, you know what I'm saying? Well, when we did have electricity. So that I asked for something positive as a takeaway from it. The positive thing I asked for was laughter. That can be whatever you wanted it to be. It could be peace. It could be light. What I never expected was apology. I wanted an apology. I was looking for an apology. But I also said, if I do not get my apology that I know I am deserving of, at least let me get laughter. So I picked a few things that I wanted, and I got the laughter. I didn't get the apology, even though the person knew that what I was saying was true. But what I got was laughter out of it, because they was reminding me of certain things in life that I probably forgot myself. And that helped me heal through my own issues. And I can go back and I'm like, yo. And now when I think about my childhood, honestly, I don't get triggered. I do not get triggered. I really just have so many good memories of my childhood and how I grew up with my 5 siblings. I'm one of 5 on my mom's side, and I'm one of 4 or so, maybe more, on my father's side. And I love the fact that my childhood was the way it was. Give yourself grace for the work you're doing on yourself. I commend you. And like I said, this is a community. This is a tribe with the vibe, okay? There is no one size fits all. Let me know in the comments some of the things that you may have dealt with or that you're actually healing from. Because what I want to do is invite the healingness of it. Healing of letting go. The art of letting go when no longer serves you. The art of just being in the present moment and enjoying it for what it is without the noise. You enjoying the creation, you're enjoying the process, and you're enjoying the flow. And on top of all of that, you're choosing you. And I just want to say I'm so proud of you. Again, if you like what you heard, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And again, we're going to chop it up real soon. All right? Peace.